there is another area of the law which was very vibrant that time, that's the criminal law. Now, there is another concept which has come because India has entered into international treaty like TRIPS, WTO. Now, there is a concept that is an intangible property. So, intangible property is also equally important as good as the property of Mother Nature. Now, intellectual property has various branches. The most important branch is patent. Then there is another area which is trademark. Then third area is also very important, that is also related to mostly the literary work, musical work. You all are very close to that area, that is copyright. And then another area which is industrial design, and that is related to the designs and sets of the thing. These are the four basic areas. There is another area which is also coming up very fast, and I take classes for that particular area of the intellectual property set of the government of India for the various regions of India. That is called geographical indication. I was in Manipur, now I will be going to Andaman Nicobar. So that is protecting the tribal art. That's very important. Now I am coming to that area today. So that is very close to that particular intellectual property. That is copyright. So whenever you are facing, whether you are handling any kind of the academic matters like books, like your research work, then it is obviously the expressions, your ideas, your thoughts, the words are together, and which is being protected with that concept, that is copyright. So copyright also related to the musical work, artistic work, but whenever you create something, you see this, even whenever you go to the website, you see all the websites, there is a footnote and a copyright C. So they think the copyright is registered, but it is a very, very interesting thing. Whenever you create something in the field of literary work or artistic work, the copyright is already born. You don't need to register it. But many people, they just question us, is this copyright registered? If the copyright is registered, then you can go to the litigation in a different way. So that is another parameters of the law. But if your copyright is not even registered, but still it is a protected, so nobody can touch upon it. So, but many people are not aware of it, that unregistered copyright is also legally protected. But that is a different parameter. So, however, I am coming to that area, and which is very, very prominent and vibrant in your subject, especially you all are familiar with that particular terminology, is called plagiarism. So we also, when I encounter such kind of thing, I especially remember there was a research student in law. She applied to my firm. So whatever the procedure to join our firm, especially with the LLM student or those who are post LLM, we ask them to write an article. We choose a topic, and we choose a topic which is not available on the net. So it's a very uncommon topic, so that we can judge their intelligence. Because standard things are available on the net. We know this what is available on the net and what is not available in the net also. So eventually that particular student, I still remember, she wrote an article, and that article was sent to us. By reading that article, we could understand that is not her own writing. Then we have a system, so we put that article over there. So by one of my junior, he did that. He was from Symbiosis. It is so shocking. 80% of that write-up is copyright. This is all copy. She did copy and paste. And that particular software was identifying what is the source from where she has copied. So this is a very painful situation. It is happening because it is an age of internet. It is an age of free information. Whatever the information we get on the net, many of the students especially, I have seen, they depend on that particular information. But my respected teachers, I am telling you very honestly, 30 to 40% information I have seen in the field of law, which is available on the net, it is not at all correct. It is not giving the proper view of the subject. If somebody is reading that particular thing from the net, so he will be definitely mispropped. Like when I was a student, I used to go to the libraries very frequently. My favorite place was the American Center because I used to stay in College Street and they had a setup in College Street also. Now that is closed. So my pastime was that I used to go to the American Library and sit with the American magazines, videos and whatever things. And now eventually nowadays I am very close to both the libraries. But I am also very distant from them because of my time constraint. But I was talking with the chief librarian of British Council Library in Rainville. She was telling me, Vishnuji, believe it or not, 30 to 40% readers have been eliminated. I was shocked. I know what? This is textbook reading is gone. Everybody is going to the net trying to find out some ready information. So the net has given us different lifestyle, different academic way of moving forward. But to my understanding, to my perception, I feel it has given a lot of backlinks, where most of the students have become lazy. They don't feel like to go to the library. Even whenever I go to any good law campus, like the law schools in India or national law schools, I request the faculty, please check your students' library attendance. How frequently they go to the library and they sit with the textbook. And most of the law schools, they have the projects, so many things are there. And they try to fulfill those kind of curriculums. But I was telling them that will not help them to come up in the life, in a career. Because any profession, any career, especially the professional studies, it needs research work. And whenever you enter into research work, you need a dedication of your studies. And that is hour after hour. Otherwise, none can move forward. They will try to do the shortcut. So same thing happening today. Especially you all are respected teachers, you are giving a lot of home tasks or homework to your students. What they try to do, they go home because they are preoccupied with so many things in our present lifestyle, the modern lifestyle. I will not give those kind of parameters. I was talking with a few days back with a very senior police officers, IPS, because they requested me to take some classes for cyber crimes. So those things are happening in our life and which has taken away most of our valuable time of studies. Now, whenever you go to the net and you get some free information, because it is nothing, you are paying for it. So your trend is that you try to encash those things as much as you can. So thus, plagiarism begins. Whenever you find some free information on the net and you try to make use of that particular free information for your particular need without giving the credit to that particular available information, then definitely you are coming within the ambit of this plagiarism. Plagiarism is really very common in the academic fields. I was not very much close to that particular plagiarism because it is not frequently happening in India. In the field of law, in true sense of law. It doesn't come to the court or anything like that. But whenever I got that kind of information from your college that I had to give a speech on the plagiarism, I was doing a lot of research work. And I found it was really shocking for me, rather than my body hair was standing. I found 3-4 vice chancellors of the universities, they had to resign from their post for the plagiarism. Especially I remember one particular vice chancellor, he was from the field of physics. He did some copying from a group of scientists, those who did the research work in USA. And that particular matter was referred to our past president, Dr. Kalam. And Dr. Kalam put some comment on it. I really feel pain whenever such kind of representation is coming on my desk. So it is happening. It is like a cold war in our academic world. So my dear respected teachers, whenever you are handling any material, especially whenever you assign any matter to your students, do be very sure, even believe me or not, I have developed my website. I know what is the value of copyright. Yesterday I was arguing one case in High Court, believe me or not. That was the Hindustan Lever versus this client came from Delhi. The law is so observant today. In Surf Excel, I don't know if you have seen, there is a splat, the flashing molecule. Just only one molecule is there. People go for the trademark registration by the name itself. That I was giving, because I will be giving the speech on this case in many law schools, because they are not aware of this case. It just happened in Calcutta High Court yesterday. So what Hindustan Lever did, he got hold of this particular client, this party from Agra, in a remote area. He is doing a business on the same detergent soap, powders, but the brand name is a trademark, is a Joker. So in a layman's word, even if I ask all my law professors, those who are teaching the IPR in many universities of India, I asked yesterday one professor, he is a PhD in IPR from BHU, and he is a very prominent professor of Indian law schools. I'll not give you the name. I was telling him in the night when I was discussing about this case, he says, I cannot understand how this case can start. I know this case not have been started. It is already passed by injunction by landed High Court. They stop the business of that particular person. This is how did it happen. Please give me the background of this case. I want to learn it. What happened? This Joker, the name is, there is no matching with the trademark. But that splat they have taken in a ditto same. He designed that thing for the normal designers, what we do also. And designers, and he started marketing of that particular detergent. Now, after doing the business, investing the money, he got the injunction from the court to stop the business. Not only that, Hindustan Lever asked him, give me the statistics, how much business and the volume of the business you have done. I know this, what is the next case they will start, but they assured me unofficially, Vishwajit will not start that case. I said my client is apprehensive about that particular matter because they will come with a compensation suit because you have done the business upon my goodwill. Once he admits this matter before the court, it is an established case, then I will come with a compensation case. This we call this counter claim. So whenever you check your website, like we create a website, okay, I created my website. What are the contents I have written on the website? Normally, you have the people, those who are designing the website, there are web companies in Calcutta or anywhere in India. What they do, believe me or not, they have some copywriter. I still remember one gentleman came to me and it was utterly shocking for me. I still remember 10 years back. That gentleman said, I write the thesis for PhD. I said, how can you do that? Well, yes, the PhD students are hiring me. I said, really? And he says, I still remember someone in Howrah. And he is from arts background. He is writing the thesis for the physics. I never heard such kind of thing. Is really, I don't know how do you manage it? Well, I go to the net, I search all those things and I accumulate. There is a kind of compilation work. He doesn't understand what is a copyright. So similarly, 40 to 50% websites, believe me or not, these are all copied. The contents are copied, designs are copied, or even the device, the artistic work is also copied. So even whenever you hire your web designer, anyone who is writing for you, you should be very careful to have those kind of people. And you just make an agreement with them. If I face any legal issue out of your creation, so I will make you responsible before the court of law. Now, even if he says it has been done by my designer, the court will ask, where is that designer? You bring him in the court. You have no trace. So these things are very happening, and people are today aware of it, especially the multinational companies. They are keeping sharp eyes. They are the strong legal team. They are watching. We think that okay, nothing is happening. This kind of sense is there, and that's why the plagiarism begins. So let me start it this way. Go to the first slide. This is why we created this kind of the situation. Like you can see, the plagiarism begins replacing the Google. So whenever you go to the Google, you get your information, and you are not aware of it, how much I should read and how much I should take, whether it is copyrighted or not, or it is some other person's work, I should give credit to that person or that source. They are not trying to do that. So plagiarism begins with that particular browser. It's a Google. That's why we named it as a plagiarism browser. So go to the next slide. Now, what is a plagiarism? So, an act of instance using closely imitating the language or thoughts of another author without authorization and representation of the author's work as own. So, you are doing something, you are writing something, you are creating something. You have taken those ideas, those languages. What normally the students do, they take that particular paragraph from there, and what they do, they just change, because there are the ready sources, the vocabularies are there, they change that kind of wordings. But the concept behind that writing, the way it has been written, that idea is still same. So again, I will come to that point, I will explain you. Now there is one is called creative idea, one is called the standard ideas. So if it is a standard ideas, then yes, you can bank upon it. But if it is not standard ideas, it is a creative ideas, you cannot take it. So ideas, somebody says, okay, I have taken the idea only, but I have not taken your language. But even if you take that idea, suppose I am talking about like this way, I have written a story. I'm just giving a very simple way, not just like a very hardcore, the legal senses and all those things. So my duty is to make you understand how the normal things are happening. I read a story. The story is very attractive. It can lead to the movie. Now some other persons got the idea of that particular story. And he is writing the entire story. He is a very good writer, but he is not a very good creator. So what he does, that's why we say in the court of law that he is a writer, but he is not a creator. The creator is protected, writer is not protected. Means he is a copier. So now what happens? Whenever that particular story, you rewrite it, it is plagiarism. Because that is his story. But you rephrased it, you reworded it, so that is not fair. So So if you do so, there are two ideas behind it. One is that you don't like to give the credit to that person. You don't like to see that acknowledge that origin. No, this is that story. Or you want to take the credit of your writing, self-writing, that is an improvised writing with that idea. So that is the thing. It is objectionable by the law. It is a plagiarism. So plagiarism is this kind of thing. But whenever copyright is there, what is a copyright? It is a kind of exclusive right. Even you write something, you make a book. Okay. Now the copyright is helping you to get the kind of, it's a bundle of rights, it's a right of monopoly. With that monopolistic right, what can you do? You can reproduce it. You can sell it. You can make a commercial use of it. That is copyright. So you can get the idea now, the clear concept, what is a plagiarism, which has less commercial values, but it has a more creditable values, what I said. But copyright is more of the commercial values. Like if I create something, I write some books, and if somebody steals that particular book and he republishes it, he goes to a different publisher. Recently I was handling one case where the Macmillan has violated the copyright. This is utterly shocking for us. So we are talking, we have sent a legal notice to the Macmillan, England. So they have the parent body. They reply to the Indian Macmillan also, please clarify this matter. So this is a copyright. So it is a kind of monopolistic right. That's all. And go to the next slide. Plagiarism. This basically the word has come because that's certainly the plagiarism. This is derived from the word called plagiar, which is the meaning is a kidnap. Kidnap means, in the legal sense, is called you take away something forcibly. So the person, the information is given on a name. It doesn't mean that you have to take the whole thing out of that and you will take the credit of you. So that's why there is a plagiarism. Normally the plagiarism is done by the academic people, because common people, they do not enter into that particular purview, that particular arena. So normal people, they do not know what is plagiarism, they are not bothered about it. But whenever, even though you believe me or not, behind my website also, there is a system is moving. That is a particular the software we have taken on license, and that software is giving me the report. So if anybody is trying to take the contents of my website, which is creative, totally creative, that particular software is a copy sentry is there. The all big softwares, these are website companies, like they have very, very creative websites. They have taken that kind of software. So that particular software will give you the idea where that particular copying is taking place and where has that copy material is used. That is the copy sentry. I'll come to later on those kind of. This is a very, very interesting thing. So eventually I am giving the one case I am handling for the State Bank of India. This is a very shocking case for the public. The whole State Bank website is duplicated. I was sitting with the legal team, came from Bombay, they are all doctorate in law. And I was sitting in the Lal Bahia Police Officers Cyber Department. And one of my students was there, he was a specialist in IT engineering, then he did the law. Both of us, we are sitting across the table. The series of people are sitting in the headquarters of the State Bank of India next to our High Court. My junior was asking the senior police officer, sir, your duty is that being in uniform, the crime is still going on. You stop that crime fast, that is your duty. Please tell me how to stop that website. They said, okay, we'll start the FIR, we'll start the investigation, we'll do this thing. And he was asking after that. Then next question after that, the police officer, IPS officers were puzzled. He was saying, I'll sit with my team. And my junior was making a joke out of it. The team of what? Few police with the dandas and lathis. But that is all intellectual crime. You must know how to fight against this kind of the crime. I got a call at 10:30 in the night from the Vice Chairman of the State Bank of India. Sir, where are you? I said, I'm in Salt Lake. Can you come to the Dalhousie right now? I said, 10:30 in the night. But yes, I want to meet you. I just arrived Calcutta. And I've been to his office at 11 o'clock in the night. He gave me the assignment. Sir, however you stop this website, I want that. I don't believe in the police. I know they have no intelligence. And less than 24 hours time, we issued the legal notice to the appropriate body. And less than 72 hours, we struck down that website. That particular law is called DMCA, Digital Millennium Copyright Act. I asked many professors, law professors of India, do you know sir what is called DMCA? They are squeezing their eyebrows to us saying, what is the DMCA? So you can understand this kind of thought, but this is an international treaty. Because people should know from where the website is hosted, where it goes, and what is called IP, Internet Protocol. How can you identify that crime and how can you stop that? So these are all interesting things. So this plagiarism is there. So different types of plagiarism, I am just giving a thumbnail idea. One is the copy and paste. You know that you all are familiar with these kind of situations. I am sure that some of your students, but be careful because I will come to that point. Being an academic institution, what should be the preventive measures? What you can make a rule also. Because nowadays if you go to any US universities, like whenever we take the students or that anybody is joining my firm, we make them signing an agreement is called NDA, non-disclosure agreement. Like I am handling one very important case. Now that particular junior is friendly with the same batch, student from another campus. They are meeting in the coffee shop, coffee day or somewhere in the evening on the Saturday. He said, look, in our office we are handling these things. He is disallowed to do such kind of thing. If he does that kind of thing, that is a violation of the agreement. We can sue that person, although they are our employee. So similarly, every academic institution should have the agreement or the rules, like how to combat against the plagiarism. Because most of the academic institutions are virally affected with the plagiarism. The students are having that kind of a train in their mind. Somehow they will try to dupe their professors, the academic system, and to come out with this kind of unconventional, way of academic success. So, go to the next previous slides. So, word switch mechanism. Like I told you this, they will try to switch the words. That is, I have seen many of my juniors, they try to do that. Even whenever there is a legal drafting is coming, I have seen what they do. Believe me or not, most of the lawyers are very successful in Calcutta because what they do, they handle the real estate property cases. Like you are buying a flat, you go to that lawyer. They have the standard drafting on the computer. What they do, we call it the post title. So they will change your name, like the seller, which is called the vendor, and the purchaser, the buyer. And their parameters, bioparameters like the names, father's name, etc. It's a very simple job. Any law student can do that. And out of that, they are charging the professional fees. I ask them, where is your your talent? Where is your legal brain? You tell me. Have you changed a single drafting? None. So it is very painful. I have seen the same thing with the many lawyers' chamber or the law offices. What they do, they have the standard drafting. What they do whenever the juniors are coming, or the law students, interns, they make them to follow that thing, that drafting, you take it as just like a Bible truth, and you just try to maneuver with that. But that's a bad teaching. Rather, you gave them idea.